after a great 4th of July, man, it feels good to be talking about some entertainment news. I am super excited about today's show, but the real question is, what are we doing this weekend? What are you doing this weekend to try to relax, unwind, get a little stretch in?
Uh, I'm sleeping. No.
There you go.
I've been doing a lot of things all week long, man. I stayed up probably way too late last night with the fireworks. I probably should have gone to bed a little bit earlier for that. And yeah, man. I mean, anybody who knows me, you know me. Heat and me don't mix. And it's been over 100 here, so I'm not having a good time with the heat. It's drained me. It's wiped me out. I think I'm gonna enjoy some cold beverages with my air conditioning and relax all weekend. That sounds like my plan, man. How about you?
There we go. I think I'm going to go see the new A24 flick Maxine, which
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know is actually a third installment in a trilogy. But I did some reading, and it doesn't necessarily look like you need to watch the first two before
Yeah.
watching this one. It looks like it's just literally the same character who encounters multiple serial killers.
Yes.
So, but I'm excited about it, man, because, I mean, 1985, and it has to deal with Hollywood and all the good stuff that we love. So, yeah, I'm pumped.
Well, cool. I might check that one out this weekend too, because that's an indoor, air-conditioned, kick-back, relax kind of a thing. I've been seeing a lot of movies,
really
though.
is.
My Regal Unlimited's like, congratulations, you've seen more than usual this month. I'm like, yes, I have. But it's
Are
all
you ready
good.
for my hot take? I've been waiting to tell you this hot take until the show, so I can
Uh-oh.
get a genuine reaction. I
Uh-oh.
hope you're ready. Drum roll. I enjoyed Horizon American Saga more than Oppenheimer. Oh my god.
No.
Yep,
No.
I did.
No.
I did. I know. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? I
Um,
think it's just because of the action scenes. I think that's all it is. Because, I mean, yes, of course, Oppenheimer is a beautiful, fantastic film. But, I mean, I don't remember if I woke up early that day or what have you. But there were some points that I felt like drug a little bit. And I know you feel the same way about Horizon American Saga. So I just wanted to give you that hot take so you can get that reaction first here.
Yeah, hey, listen. I liked Horizon. I mean, I would have done a little bit different here or a little bit different there,
Yeah.
but who am I to tell Costner? I mean, fuck, he won an Emmy, Oscar for directing, so I can't tell him. But better than Oppenheimer.
I didn't say better. I said I enjoyed it more than Oppenheimer.
Oh, okay. So you're saying, so you don't think it's a better film? You just enjoyed it more.
Correct.
Okay,
correct.
but if you take the action sequences out, and I mean, in my opinion, the only real great action sequence is the opening of the film. I mean, it's a long
yeah.
sequence with the
Yeah.
whole attack. And then, I mean, you get a little bit with a killing here or killing. But, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot after that until the quick montage at the end to set you up for the second one. Other than that, though, it was pretty story-driven. And, you know, the one
I think
thing...
what it really was, and not to give too much away because we still want people to go see it, is the I really liked, because everybody knows I like the gangs and the mafia and all that stuff, the dynamic between that family that was looking for the woman. If you remember what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. I really liked the older brother. I really liked him.
Yeah.
So yeah, that whole dynamic to where he was like the calm, cool, collected guy, and then the younger brother was like the little
Total shithead, yeah,
that
yeah.
Costner took care of. But I think it's that. I think that's what probably pushed me over the edge because I really want to know more about that particular storyline.
Okay, so spoilers. So everybody who hasn't seen it and you don't want to know, cover up or whatever.
Skip ahead. Yep. Skip
I
ahead.
think there's only one reason and one reason only girl did him. She's going to show up back later with his kid. She's going to be pregnant and or
Yeah.
already had Costner's kid.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no point for that scene. There's just not. So I think that's going to happen. Also, that would be my one little gripe too, is I think it was at points too predictable. You knew your girl and the military guy were going to hook up. It was coming the whole time, kind of a thing. So there were little aspects of it that I just felt like were too predictable, and I would have liked it to have been a little bit. But and my only other thing is that I wish they would have intertwined, and I'm sure they're going to, the four stories a bit more throughout
In
the
the first
film.
one,
In the
yeah.
first one. I mean, I'm sure they're setting up where all of this is going to converge at some point, but I wish they would have just done a little bit more of it because, you know, you really had to be paying attention. If you're not a film person and you don't like sitting in long films, you might have lost because you were going from this story to this story to this story to that story, and if you weren't paying attention, you were like, "Wait, what? What?" So, those are my little tiny things. But overall, I think it was a really good film for a 3-hour Western that's mostly dialogue driven. It was a good film. And I'll say this, come on, guys, go see it because he might lose his house. He just came out this week and said he's probably going to lose his house. So go see it. Jesus, don't let Costner lose his house, man. Come on.
I'm supporting enough to where, like, I got a free poster, and so I hung up the poster. So be sure to see
Costner wants
Horizon
the
American
theaters to
Soccer.
start charging for those posters.
Exactly. Well, hey, Costner, I'll offer you the same invite that I did Steven Spielberg. I got a McAllister's down the street. Let me know. I can buy you lunch. It's fine.
He might need it. He might need some lunch.
He might.
You know.
But man, it's a jam-packed show. We're super excited about it. Let's get into it. Hello, everyone. So you want to start a podcast but have no idea where to start? Well, Crazy Ant Media is here to help you. We want to assist you finding your VFE. What's VFE, you ask? Well, that is your voice, your format, and your equipment. These are the 3 biggest essentials you need to start your podcast. All those hours watching non-stop YouTube videos or all those random website links, those are done. Just hop on a Zoom call with us and we'll talk about everything you need to know to create your own podcast and find your voice. Plus, we will send you home with a 12-page packet over everything we just discussed. It's very in-depth. It is definitely a must-need while trying to start your first podcast. Contact us at info@crazyantmedia.com today so that you can start finding your podcast voice for tomorrow. What's up, guys? Oh my goodness. Welcome back to another episode of ITCAFpodcast. First of all, first things first, we got to thank you, the listeners out there, for being here for 264 episodes. If you're new to the podcast, we are an entertainment-based podcast that gives you the latest entertainment news, talks to some of your favorite celebrities, and has a little fun with top 5 segments and different things like that, all around the entertainment industry. And like we said, thank you for joining the crazy. We really appreciate it. But man, oh man, it's going to be a great freaking show. We have so much to talk about because Pixar's Inside Out 2 is doing amazing numbers. It's like we've been talking about this thing for 3 weeks straight, and it's worth it, man.
Yeah.
The same with Deadpool and Wolverine. They're making some big moves. So the momentum is just keep on going. So that's very exciting. There's so much happening in Hollywood, and we're super excited to dive into all of it. But before going into that, be sure to leave a rating on this podcast, comment below, and tell us what you actually think about the podcast, because leaving a rating on the podcast actually helps this show get seen by more people who enjoy entertainment news, but especially those who are trying to break into the entertainment industry. Us here at Crazy Ant Media, we are not only a film and television production company, but we also have multiple podcasts and multiple things in various stages of development, and we're all about lending that helping hand. So be sure to do all of the great things and reach out to us at info@crazyantmedia.com, where you can ask us any sort of questions or give us any sort of advice, tips, or things you would do differently. We're always open ears here at Crazy Ant Media, so be sure to check that out.
Yes.
And before going into the rest of the show, be sure to head over to our website, www.crazyantmedia.com, because like I just told you, we have so much going on in so many different places of the entertainment industry. So of course we have merchandise. That's right. Be sure to head over there and check out our merchandise website, where we do have sales going on, promotional sales. That's why you have to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, all the good places at Crazy Ant Media and at ITCAFpodcast, because we don't want you to pay full price for everything. So be sure to follow us there so you can get those promotional sales.
20% off. Everything
20%
right now.
off, man.
Right now, 20% off.
Be sure to check that out. And we have teddy bears. We have little puppy dogs. We have phone cases. We have pajama pants. We have your regular shirts, slip-ons, all the good things, man. Be sure to head over there and do all the things and have a little fun.
Yeah, by the way, everybody, that's J-Lo Fantastic. And I'm the mouth.
True. If you didn't know. If you
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? Just I was like, wait a minute. We didn't do our intro.
I was doing a great promo. I was going in.
You were all in,
fine.
man. You were all
It's
in.
fine. It's fantastic. I love it. Well, if you're new to the show and those returning listeners, everybody knows we love Disney. That is for sure. So we start every show off with Disney news. And like I teased a little bit earlier, Disney and Pixar Motion Ladden's Inside Out 2 is the first film of the year to hit $1 billion at the global box office.
Yes.
The animated sequel grossed a worldwide tally of crazy amount, $1.015 billion after just 19 days of its release. It's one of 11 animated films to join the $1 billion club, which is crazy because 8 of which are all Disney titles.
Yeah.
And it's the fastest animated release to do so. So it's already paving its own path. Now, the second Inside Out has retained the top spot at the box office chart for 3 consecutive weekends and is the highest grossing movie domestically and globally of 2024 so far. It will likely be dethroned from the top of the box office this weekend, though, because there's another family-friendly, established IP coming out, and we'll tell you about that a little bit later.
And it's animated. They seem to be doing well. Another one that's doing really well is Deadpool and Wolverine. As we told you, it's just everywhere, and it is definitely primed to tear into the summer box office when it hits in less than 3 weeks. I'm so fucking excited. The Disney and Marvel sequel, which unites, of course, Ryan Reynolds' Merc with a Mouth and Hugh Jackman's Berserker Mutant, is on track to open between $160 and $165 million when it releases in, like I said, just 3 weeks. I'm so excited. Of course, it's worth noting that this tracking is hitting before the bulk of the studio's marketing materials even inundate moviegoers, so interest in the film could keep building. Now, we reported a couple of weeks ago back on the show that one ticket tracker was projecting an opening as high as $200 million. Now, it's hard, though, to accurately project ticket sales this far in advance of a film's debut, but these figures definitely show how intense fanboys and fangirls are anticipating this movie. Now, if the film does open to this level, it will mark the best launch of 2024, as well as the best ever bow for an R-rated film ever. So that's awesome. Now, Deadpool and Wolverine was, of course, co-written by their best buddy and produced by Sean Levy. It's also the first time, if you didn't know, you've been living under a rock, that Deadpool and Wolverine will be featured in the MCU. Yeah, they're going to be in the MCU.
And it's not the only news about Deadpool and Wolverine, because the studio was just making the most of the fact that it is the first original film of the franchise, the MCU and Marvel, to land a China release date.
Yes.
Now, stars Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, along with director Sean Levy, appeared to have a hand, or had a grand time promoting the pick in Shanghai this past week. Now, during the trip, which was the first stop on the overseas promotional tour, the trio met with a packed house after 35 minutes of the movie was shown, and shared stories about how the project all came together, which electrified constant laughter and applause throughout the entire theater. The trio was spotted in front of the 10-meter-long giant Deadpool alongside the Hungpyo River and visited a Deadpool and Wolverine themed pop-up store on Wakang Road in Shanghai, which will be open until July 7th. Now, Reynolds, Jackman, and Levy continued on the tour, also making their way to Korea this week, where they attended a baseball game. Now, an international rollout of the film begins on July 24th. Domestic and China will join that bad boy on July 27th. So We're super excited, and we have our calendars marked.
Yes, super pumped, super pumped. Now, also, continuing with Marvel news, in honor of Independence Day, Anthony Mackie, a.k.a. Mr. Independence himself, Captain America, took to social media to share a new photo from his forthcoming film, Captain America Brave New World. Now, Mackie captioned the Instagram post, "Happy birthday, America. Have a great 4th. See you soon." In case you didn't know, the film arrives next year, marking the big screen passing of the shield from Steve Rogers, formerly played by Chris Evans, to Sam Wilson, of course played by Mackie, an event which was previewed kind of, sort of, at the end of Avengers Endgame way back in 2019, and then fully unveiled in the Disney Plus series The Falcon and the Winter Soldier in 2021. Now, the new film picks up after the events of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and also stars Danny Ramirez as Joaquin Torres, aka the new Falcon, Carl Lumbly as Isaiah Bradley, aka the first Captain America, which they're not talking about, but kind of hinted at Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is going to be exciting. Liv Tyler is back as Betty Ross. Yeah, she's back. And Shira Haas as Sabra. Zosha Rocamore, Seth Rollins, and Rosa Salazar have also been cast, but their roles are being undisclosed and kept under wraps right now. Giancarlo Esposito was also added as an unknown villain during the reshoots. And of course, the one, the only, the legend himself, Harrison Ford, is Thunderbolt Ross. And Red Hulk. It's coming. We've all seen it. We know it's coming. Red Hulk. It's going to be so badass. By the way, this photo, I loved it. The costume is not that bright white anymore like it was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It now resembles more of the Captain America costume from Winter Soldier. So it's darker. It's not white anymore. It's back to the blue. It's very reminiscent of what Steve wore in his solo movies. I liked it. I really liked it. I don't know if people were like upset that it's going away from his version and more back towards Cap's version, but I liked it. It just fits better in my opinion.
Yeah, it looked good. I mean, I have no problem with it,
No.
but comically, historically accurate is a big thing out there, so that's for sure.
It
Some
is.
people's buttholes are tighter than others, that's for sure. Brad Winderbaum, Marvel Studios head of streaming, television, and animation, recently appeared on an official Marvel podcast and revealed that Marvel's upcoming WandaVision spin-off series, Agatha, will only be fun for so long until start scaring viewers. Now, Winterbaum teased, quote, "Agatha is really fun, but it's really scary. It gets quite dramatic throughout. She is an anti-hero, of course, and it lures you in with the fun of Halloween, and before you know it, you're crying." The Marvel brand of scary, it's a Halloween show, and there are deadly stakes in this series. Now, it's a fun ride, but it's a dangerous one, that's for sure. So it's going to be very entertaining. We've been waiting a long time for that one.
Yeah, that one's going to be... I like that, though. So it's going to be fun, but dark. Okay, that works for me. I'm also really excited about this because Winderbaum also spoke about the highly anticipated, of course, upcoming limited series Daredevil Born Again, which, again, if you've been living under a rock, features the full-fledged return of Charlie Cox's character Daredevil and Matt Murdock after he had brief appearances in the MCU projects such as Spider-Man No Way Home, Echo, and She-Hulk. Now, Winderbaum, get this, explained, quote, "These characters have matured. The universe is different than it was. Things have changed. Society has changed. Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk have changed, and their characters are going to collide in ways we've never seen before. It's no longer enough to try to murder each other. There's a whole game of politics at play now." What? This is gonna be so good, and it's seeing Vincent and Charlie out there talking about it. They're so excited about it, and they're praising Marvel for allowing them to go back and finish the Netflix story, kind of a thing. But all new, dude, I'm so pumped about this one. I really am.
Yeah, it's going to be good, man. We're super excited about it. And something that everybody else is really excited about, and I know FX's team and, of course, Disney is very excited about, Season 3 premiere of The Bear reached 5.4 million views in its first 4 days of streaming. Now, that is according to Disney Analytics. That marks not only the best performance ever for an FX premiere on Hulu, but the most watched season premiere for any scripted series on Hulu. Now, the 5.4 million total accounts for the viewership on Hulu as well as Hulu on Disney Plus. Disney says that Hulu on Disney Plus gave the season a significant boost and that it has achieved the biggest Hulu on Disney Plus premiere since the bundle launched on March 27th.
Makes sense.
Now, additionally, Disney says this puts season 3 of The Bear at 24% more views than the season 2 premiere achieved in the same amount of time. Now, that's the second consecutive season growth for The Bear, which surprised the word of mouth success of the first season and grew in viewership by 70% when we got to season 2. So no doubt when it comes around to the Emmys, they're going to be taking it all in.
Oh my God, bro. If Johnny Bernthal doesn't win an Emmy, I'm going to be pissed. If Jamie Lee Curtis doesn't win an Emmy. So last season it was episode 6. Bernthal just mind blown in the Christmas episode at the table. This time it's another episode 6. Bernthal having a conversation, hiring. It's an 11-minute scene, y'all, of just pure dialogue. Blew me away, and I'm like, you can't get any. And then they follow it up with another episode where it's Jamie Lee Curtis with her daughter in the hospital having the baby, and it's another 11-minute just dialogue between the two of them, and holy fuck, it's so good. This show, I'm telling y'all, I just have to say it. I think it's the best single thing on television in a very long time. The writing, the directing, the acting, the cinematography, the music, just every single thing about it just works in every fucking episode. It's so good. If you guys have not jumped on this show, what the fuck? Where are you? Get on this one, y'all, because you are missing something special if you're not watching this one. I'm just saying.
It's your turn.
It's my turn. Yeah, all right.
The mouth gets carried away.
The mouth gets carried away sometimes. All right. But you know what else does not get carried away? Or maybe it does. Actress Jillian Bell. She's set to make her feature directorial debut with The Summer of '69, an American high comedy for Hulu. It's starring Saturday Night Live's Chloe Fineman. Now, in The Summer of '69, I thought that was Bryan Adams, which falls under, if that song's not in it, by the way, epic fail, just saying. It apparently falls under America High's first look deal with Hulu. An awkward high school senior hires an exotic dancer to help seduce her longtime crush before graduation, leading to an unexpected friendship and lessons in self-confidence, acceptance, and adulthood. Just the plan seems like it would be a bad one. Why do you want somebody to seduce your guy that you're trying to get? I don't know. I'm just saying. Production is set to kick off, and this is awesome, in my hometown of Syracuse, New York this month. Go Syracuse. Making some moves. Getting some movie production, TV production. That's fantastic.
That's right, man. That's right. It's always nice to see when they pop up in different parts of the country, instead of the 4 or 5 hubs. That's
for sure.
Well, Lacey Mosley, popular podcast Scam Goddess, is set for a TV adaptation at ABC News Studios with Mosley as the host. Now, the series is currently in production, and per its official description, the podcast keeps listeners up to date with current rackets, digs deep into the latest scams, and breaks down the most historic hoodwinks, while featuring different comedians as guests each and every week. Now, Mosley launched the podcast back in 2019 via Earwolf and will celebrate its 5th anniversary with a live show in Los Angeles at Regent Theater in September, which will mark the release of Mosley's book, Scam Goddess, Lessons from a Life of Cons, Grifts, and Schemes, all to be good things. So, sounds very interesting, man. It just shows you can start a podcast and might end up with a TV show.
I mean, there you go. That's it. And before we leave the Mouse House, we just want to say a huge congratulations to Bob Iger, who was recognized this week for 50 years of service with the company. Y'all, 50 years. I was 4 when the man started with the company, okay? He's been there a long time, so you got to give him dues, man. Whether you like him or not, you love him, you hate him, 50 years is a long time to do anything in life. So, you got to be pretty good at it if you survive that long. So, congratulations.
And not to go too much off the rail, too. I feel like, we saw this past week as well. Him and his wife just bought a women's soccer team, I think.
Yeah.
So that he's already looking to the future, which is good.
He's only got a little bit left, like a year and a half left. He's like, I'm going to go into sports.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Dana Walden. If you want to exit, Bob, Dana Walden, just put her in. Get out of there, buddy. Just get out of there. Speaking of getting out of there, let's jump on over to Fox. Fox just dropped the first promo for Season 5 of 911 Lone Star, confirming the show's next explosive crisis will involve a train derailment. The 30-second video finds the heroic members of the 126 springing into action, and as Neil McDonough's Sergeant O'Brien is quick to remind them, this city needs you. It's been more than a year since 911 Lone Star fans have gotten their weekly fix. That's me, one of them. I can't believe it's been that long. The 4th season ended all the way back in May of 2023, y'all. But it was unable to resume production due to concurrent actors and writer strikes that temporarily grounded Hollywood to a halt for several months thereafter. Now, while the 12-episode 5th season was originally expected to premiere in the spring of this year, Fox ultimately decided to delay it until the fall. An exact premiere date remains to be determined, but we do know that 911 Lone Star will air new episodes on Mondays at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central. Now, as we previously told you a few weeks ago, original cast member Sierra McLean will not be returning as Grace Ryder for Season 5, but all other previous series regulars are expected to be back. Now, even though Fox isn't confirming anything as of yet, rumors continue to swirl that this could be the final season for the 911 spinoff, whose parent series relocated to ABC, of course, after it was renewed for Season 8. I'm really upset that Sierra McLean is not coming back. It was a money issue, and they would not budge on giving her more money, and she's a very central character in the storyline of what happens in that show, and I'm kind of pissed that they didn't pay her. I mean, I just, they should have ponied up, because how they're going to explain her I don't even know, because she was so good. And I don't know who Judd is without her. Like, Judd without Grace. Yeah, just saying.
Who knows, man? Who knows? Well, we all do know that Warner Brothers, specifically, is one of the most historic studios all across Hollywood.
Yes.
That's for sure. Now, of course, they are merged with Discovery now, and the historical factor still stays in place, because there is an old Hollywood saying that you shouldn't put your own money into a film. Well, Kevin Costner didn't heed that warning and poured about $38 million of his own cash into Horizon American Saga, which we've been talking about quite often. And recently confessed it might be closer to $50 million. I heard through the grapevine that he does have like an angel investor, but no one knows who it is, and like they might be Saudi, or who knows. But still, about $50 million, that's still pretty rough.
That's a lot of his money.
The box office returns are now in on Horizon American Saga Chapter 1, and taking in all the big picture takeaway, and as an indicator of where the saga is heading, the numbers are not very pretty.
No.
So far, the film, which is a financial disaster, has earned just $14.8 million after being in theaters for a week. 7 days, guys. This means that Horizon, with a $100 million price tag, has the potential to not only be a financial train wreck, but the kind of train wreck that unfolds in a slow motion over the course of months. Yeah, that's right. In case of Chapter 3, it involves building the train, even if it's in the middle of crashing. Now, that's a lot of box office pain to buy for $38 million. Now, a little good news for the film coming off of the holiday and going into this weekend, though. Horizon and American Saga Chapter 1 made $1.1 million on the 4th for what looks like a $5.4 million for a 3-day weekend, and we're thinking about $7.8 million for a 5-day running total of $21.6 by Sunday. Now, that is better than its $11 million opening weekend, but not nearly enough to pay back anyone. And it kind of sucks because, I mean, we teased it at the very top of the show, but like, I'm interested to see where the story's going, and I'm scared that we're not gonna find out. So
no,
it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, the second one was already shot, so there's no. We'll see.
Yeah, 3 and 4 though. 3 and 4. I don't know.
No, unless Costner's gonna do it on a donkey with an iPhone, I don't. I don't think it's happening, man.
It might happen. It might happen.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting. Also interesting were some of the pics we saw this week. Of course, leaked set photos from James Gunn's Superman have dominated the internet over the last couple of weeks, and the latest set of photos gave us our first look at Nathan Fillion and Isabel Merced in full costume as their respective characters, Green Lanterns, Guy Gardner, and Hawkgirl. Now, we don't have much context for the scene that was being filmed, but the Man of Steel himself and Mr. Terrific were also present, with the latter taking flight alongside Hawkgirl while the other two conversed below. Now, at this point, almost every major character appearing in James Gunn's Superman has appeared in leaked set photos. DC fans have already gotten their first look at the Daily Planet's Rachel Brosnan's Lois Lane wearing her iconic purple outfit, as well as Wendell Pierce's Perry White and Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor. Now, Superman releases in theaters, if you didn't know, July 11th of 2025. These pictures, I'm going to be right there. They did not go over well. These costumes were not good, and boy, did he start taking some heat. But I did look closer, and there might be explanations, and I started doing some reading, and some other fans kind of agree with this. It had Maxwell Lord's logo on them. So we're thinking Maxwell Lord provided those costumes and that they're somehow working for him, and they're going to learn through Superman, oh, he's solo and he does it on his own and he does it his way and he's not told how to be a superhero and, kind of. From what I understand, these people, all the other superheroes in this movie are at the point where Superman is around, are working for Maxwell Lord, and they're kind of like the boys. They're more hardcore. They just do what they're told. They're paid superheroes kind of a thing. I think by the end of the movie, they're going to realize, oh, we don't have to do it this way. We can be like Superman. And they're going to get their real costumes, and everything will be okay. So calm down. I don't think those were the real costumes. I unfortunately do think it was Guy Gardner's real hair, which that's awful. Can we fix that too? But anyway, just, it's like you were saying with the costumes from, Captain America and all that kind of stuff. People get their panties in a wad if it's not comic book accurate, spot on. We don't know the context of these costumes yet. We don't. So you can't, Now, if we go through the whole movie after it's out and those were the final costumes, then fucking unload. Be pissed. Yeah. Have a fit. But we don't know yet. So just calm down. Let it play out. See how it goes. Nobody talked about also those set photos. They showed Superman being Superman, rescuing little kids and saving them from explosion. That's Superman. They should have been talking about all the badass kind of stuff like that instead of worrying about the fucking Guy Gardner costume. I'm just saying.
Agreed, man. Agreed. James Gunn has a plan. That's
he does.
Sure. And we all know that he is a huge fan of the original Superman.
Yes.
That one starring Christopher Reeve. And he is celebrating both the legacy of the Man of Steel and the actor who originated him on the big screen in a special cameo. That's right. Christopher Reeve's youngest son, journalist, and ABC News correspondent Will Reeve will make a cameo playing a television reporter in the upcoming DC Studios movie. Now, local reporters from Cleveland.com recently captured some behind-the-scenes action showing Reeves' appearance on set during a major scene. I think that's a great homage. That's really freaking cool. So I would love to see how much he has in this film, for sure.
Oh, without doubt. And I'm going to be honest with you. Like, you might not believe this because most people think I'm kidding or I'm lying, but I watch ABC all the time. We used to work for an ABC affiliate and everything. And I only recently realized when they did a story on it that Will was Christopher Reeve's kid. Yeah. I'm like, wait, that's little Will? Like, that's the same guy. I had no idea. I never put it together that Will Reeve was that Will Reeve, Dana and Christopher's son. I don't know why I didn't know that. He even kind of looks like Chris Reeve. And I'm like, why did I not put that together? But I'm like, okay, I missed that one. Oops. But I'm right there with you. I think it's a great tribute. I think it's awesome that he's going to have a cameo in it. And there you go. That should put to rest any of these people going nuts about James Gunn's, he's a fan of comic books, and he's long said he's a massive fan of Superman. He's not going to do wrong by this film. So just calm down and do it.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that was him either. I just looked him up, and this guy's a great reporter, too.
Yeah,
like I had no idea that was his son.
We've seen him on GMA all the time, and I'm like,
all the time.
And I knew Will Reeve, right? I mean, because obviously I'm obsessed with Christopher Reeve and that Superman and that era and all that.
Right.
So I knew Little Will. They talked about Little Will and how devastating it was when Mom died, also, and how all the I just never associated that Will was this Will from Good. I just I really like him, though. He seems to be a very solid individual and a good man.
Seems like it.
And he's overcome all that tragedy. And this is such kudos to James Gunn for even thinking about doing this. I think it's a stellar move. And as a longtime 1978 original Superman fan, I appreciate somebody taking the time to make that kind of a gesture. I really do. What I also appreciate is Michael Keaton being back and getting all the love. Tim Burton's Beetlejuice, starring Michael Keaton, of course, and Winona Ryder, Catherine O'Hara, Justin Theroux, Monica Bellucci, and Jenna Ortega, and Willem Dafoe, will open, get this, guys, at the upcoming Venice Film Festival. Yep. Burton's follow-up to the 1988 horror comedy classic, in which Keaton returns as the foul-mouthed, shape-shifting ghoul, will world premiere out of competition on August 28th at Lido's Palazzo del Cinema with talent in tow. The hotly anticipated new Beetlejuice chapter releases in the U.S. on September 6th via Warner Brothers and will launch internationally starting September 4th. Now, the Venice Film Festival's 81st edition will run August 28th through September 7th, and their full lineup will be announced on July 23rd. But yeah, fuck yeah, getting a world premiere at the Venice Film Festival. You go, guys. I'm so happy for Michael Keaton, bro. So happy.
It's pretty freaking awesome. That's for sure. Well, Max has also released an official trailer for Harley Quinn, the adult animated spinoff of Kite Man. Hell yeah, that one got an official release trailer.
Yes.
The series will debut on Max with 2 episodes on July 18th, followed with a new episode weekly through September 12th. Now, this is Poison Ivy's ex-fiancé, and Gold Glider will take over Nanoon's bar in the shadow of Lex Luthor's Legion of Doom, taking their relationship to the next level in the series. Now, the pair catered to the henchmen and goons of Arkham as they fund their business with criminal activities.
Of course they do.
That's one way to do it, for sure.
And speaking of Arkham, the planned Arkham Asylum TV series apparently no longer moving forward at Max. Now, we mentioned all the way back in October of 2022 on this very show that Antonio Campos had come on board to serve as writer and showrunner of the series, which was originally meant to be set within the world of Matt Reeves' The Batman. But according to an individual with knowledge of the situation, Campos' version will now not proceed. It is still possible, though, that a new project set within the infamous Gotham City Asylum could be developed in the future, but we don't know. Now, this is all not to say that the world that Reeves built in The Batman will follow. It won't, don't worry. The Penguin, a crime drama series with Colin Farrell reprising the role of the title supervillain, is scheduled to debut on Max in September, and Reeves is also at work on The Batman Part 2, though the film's release date was recently pushed back from October of 2025 to October of 2026. Yeah, this thing, man, remember it started off, it was supposed to be a show about the Gotham PD, like carry along the story of the Gotham PD that we saw in The Batman. And then it got revamped. That showrunner quit. They brought in this guy and they went to Arkham. And now apparently that's not I don't know, man. This show's been in trouble since the get-go.
It's what it seems like, man. That's for sure. Well, Rudy Mansko is set to be a key recurring role in HBO's Welcome to Derry. Now, it's prequel series starring and executive produced by Bill Skarsgård. Details of his role are being, of course, kept under wraps or kept under the sewer. Skarsgård will be reprising his role in the title character of It/Pennywise from the hit 2017 New Line movie It and its sequel. Now, It Chapter 2 did amazing numbers, that's for sure. And the series stems from the story by Andy Muschietti, Barbara Muschietti, and Fush, based on King's novel It. So obviously, those two are really attached to this project because we see how their interpretation of The Flash went. So just saying, let's go back to something that wasn't broken. That's for sure.
Yeah, go back to something you did well. All right, okay,
Yeah.
good. HBO has also released the official first trailer for Industry Season 3. Now, the official synopsis of the third season reads, as Pierpoint looks to the future and takes a big bet on ethical investing, Yasmin, Robert, and Eric find themselves front and center in the splashy IPO of Lumi, a green tech energy company led by Sir Henry Muck, played by Kit Harington. Yes, guys, that Kit Harington. Yep. In a story that runs all the way to the very top of finance, media, and government. Now, since leaving Pierpoint, Harper is eager to get back into the addictive thrill of finance and finds an unlikely partner in Future Dawn portfolio manager Petra Koenig. Now, additional newcomers include Barry star Sarah Goldberg as Petra Koenig, Miriam Peche as Sweet Pea Golightly, Andrew Havel as Lord Norton, Roger Barclay as Otto Moston, Fatty Islade as Ali El Mansour, and Fiona Button as Denise Olaroyd. Now, Industry Season 3 debuts August 11th at 9 p.m. Eastern on HBO and will be available to stream on Max with new episodes debuting weekly. So, welcome back to HBO, Kit Harington. There you go.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Well, Investigation Discovery has landed its first interview with Sherry Pappanini, the woman at the center of the media's uproar after she faked her kidnapping and later pled guilty to orchestrating the whole entire thing. Now, the interview will serve as the centerpiece of a multi-part documentary series that ID is set to run in 2025. Now, production is well underway on the Papanini D docu-series, which will be produced by Asylum Entertainment Group and Lady Moon Entertainment for Investigation Discovery. But according to ID, the series will feature exclusive interviews with Papanini about her disappearance and the subsequent media firestorm, the federal investigation that followed. Now, the docuseries will feature unprecedented access to archival footage, legal documents, and court filings, as well as extensive interviews with those close to Papanini and the investigation. Now, this will be offering new insights and potential answers to questions that still swirl around this case nearly a decade later. Now, this reps the latest high-profile docuseries project for investigative discovery. Following the smash hit Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids Television, and the recent four-part event series Fallen Idols about the controversies and accusations swirling around the Backstreet Boys member Nick Carter and his late brother Aaron Carter. I know ID has really been putting out some great content because I've watched every single one of those. I didn't realize, but yeah, I mean, they've really been killing it.
It's the one good thing Zaslav's put out there since
Right.
I can't argue that. That's some great stuff. Isn't that the one that's on like Hulu right now too? The Perfect Wife. Is that same chick? They had because that one blew up too. People are really interested in that story. So a real interview with her is going to do really well, I think. This is interesting, and I'm kind of excited about it because I think we've talked about this, guys. This is where it's going. Before you know it, you're only going to have one stop for all of your streamers. What am I talking about? Well, Warner Brothers Discovery has indicated early interest in exploring a partnership with Paramount Global to combine Max and Paramount Plus. Now, it's not a surprise that Warner Brothers Discovery would at least look into the feasibility of streaming joint venture with Paramount, given how public Paramount Global's leadership team has been about their desire to land a partner. Now, at this point, the situation more or less involves each company kicking the tires, if you will, on what such a partnership could look like. Both Paramount Plus and Max, as you know, have announced price hikes in the last few weeks, as both companies are keen on proving to Wall Street that their streaming businesses can be profitable, damn it. They can. This is just a no-brainer to me. I think eventually you're going to see all of them go, you know what, guys? Let's just throw them all together. Everybody can get all the content one place. We're going to charge this price and move on. I think it's the only way each one of these studios can actually make these streamers profitable. I don't think Netflix will ever jump in on that. You're still going to have Netflix separate. But all the rest of them, I think, are gonna go this way. So we'll see. We'll see.
It's gonna be a big popularized version of Sling TV / Fubu. I mean, those two apps, they kind of do the same thing. It's going to be different tiers of what content you want to have. And that's just my opinion. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it all goes down and what umbrella goes down with it. But if this merger were to happen, I believe I read that it would finally put Max over the hump of 200 million subscribers. I think that was the
because they
number.
would include,
Yeah, because it would include the Paramount bundle. So it'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. But, I mean, if something like that happens, it would definitely have to be like an Apple Paramount situation, I feel like, with going to Max and then there's that Paramount tab, at least.
Yeah, or like Disney Plus with Hulu now. You can get the Hulu tab in there. And what's really interesting, though, is if these two merge, you're also getting all the HBO content and the Showtime content, because it's Paramount Plus with Showtime now. That's what it is now. So all your Showtime shows are all in Paramount Plus, and as you guys know, all your HBO shows are in Max. So you get all of that, which I think's awesome. Fuck, I mean,
running the
bring
world,
it all,
man, running the world. Exactly. Well, speaking about Paramount, and we teased this a little bit earlier at the top of the show, Skydance Media and Sherry Redstone's National Amusements Company have quietly renewed acquisition talks and have reached a tentative agreement to acquire Paramount Global. That deal will now be reviewed by Paramount Global's special committee of its board of directors, and that has steered the media giant through the roller coaster ride of M&A activity and, of course, speculation since late last year. Now, the new pact with David Ellison Skydance Media and Jerry Cardinelli's Redbird Capital is believed to include a 45-day period in which Paramount and NAI, which owns Redstone's controlling share in Paramount, have the right to shop around for a bidder to at least match Skydance's terms. Sources close to this situation said the renewed Skydance NAI discussions are extremely serious, but there is no certainty that the sale will make it to the finish line, because we saw what happened last time. Last minute, Sherry was like, deuces. So we'll see.
Yep, but even if with that last time being deuces, people were excited to even hear that they're back at the table, because shares of Paramount Global sprang to life ahead of the July 4th holiday on news of the renewed agreement. Now, on Wednesday, July 3rd, Paramount stock opened up 13% to over $12 a share, its highest levels in nearly a month. However, the price drifted back down throughout the morning to close at $11.46 a share, but that's still up 6.9% for the shortened session that ended at 1 p.m. It ended early because of the holiday, obviously. Last month, shares had tumbled after Redstone nixed the deal and falling to all-time lows of under $10, y'all. You can pick up some studio stock for under $10. Fucking Warner Brothers Discovery's right in that range. Like, it's crazy to me that they're all that low. I just want to jump on all of them, because eventually they're going to rebound. And if you got some money, jump on them, y'all. That's all I'm saying.
That's for sure, man. That's for sure. And I mean, speaking of other buyers, late Monday, word surfaced that Barry Diller's IAC was mulling a run at National Amusements in order to get a hold of Paramount. Now, that rumor brought a historical perspective to the frenzy around the studio, as Diller, who formerly ran Paramount and 20th Century Fox and then launched the Fox Broadcast Network, previously fought hard against Redstone's father, the late Sumner Redstone, for the prize of owning Paramount in 1993 and 1994. So maybe he's still got some bad blood trying to work his way back in.
This guy, in my opinion, would be great. I don't know if you guys know the history, but he was running Paramount in his 20s. He was the youngest guy to ever run a studio. He also, during that point, hired a guy that you might know. He was his second in command, Michael Eisner, who eventually went on to run Disney, of course, who hired Bob Iger. So there's history there. And so Barry Diller was a very smart executive. He's a smart guy, and he's long said that he wants to have Paramount be Disney. He wants it to be as big as and compete with Disney, even seeing Paramount opening up its own theme parks and its own type stuff. This is his goal and what he wanted to do way back in the 90s. And I personally think had he beat Redstone, and Redstone got crazy near the end, and then now, of course, Sherry's like right there with Daddy. I think this would have been the better move. I think if Diller had been more successful and had gotten his hands on it in the 90s, we wouldn't even be having this discussion right now. It's honestly, Barry Diller was a smart man. He's got some issues here or there, but I think he would have been the better owner. That's not it, though. Paramount Global is also apparently engaged in exclusive discussions to sell BET in a deal that's valued at somewhere between $1.6 and $1.7 billion to buyers that include BET CEO Scott Mills and Chinunu Chu, founder of private equity firm CC Capital. Now, the BET Media Group comprises of, if you didn't know, the BET cable channel, VH1, and other networks, including BET Plus, and BET Studios. This has long been rumored that Paramount was trying to sell this off along with CBS and all this kind of stuff in just ways to try to make money. I do think that whoever ends up getting Paramount, because that's the goal, right? All these people are just trying to get Paramount. They don't give a fuck about the rest of the shit with National Amusement. They just want Paramount. And whoever ends up getting it, I do think that we will see them follow through with that sell-off of BET. And I think they'll keep CBS, and I think they'll do the merger with HBO Max and like all that. I do. But and who gives a shit what happens to National Amusement? Just save Paramount. Whoever buys Paramount, keep it Paramount. Just save Paramount. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
That's it. And I mean, it'd be interesting to see if Tyler Perry comes back in the conversation about buying BET again.
Yeah, he was trying. Yeah.
We'll see. A Quiet Place has become a horror franchise with few equals, that's for sure. Now, the third entry of Paramount's post-apocalyptic series, A Quiet Place Day 1, beat expectations with $53 million domestically and a $98 million global at the box office debut. It landed the best start of the three films, above the original 2018's Quiet Place, which had a $50 million in its opening. And then, of course, the 2021 sequel, A Quiet Place Part 2, which opened at about $48 million. Which, of course, we know that was a little post-pandemic, or even a little.
It was during COVID.
Pandemic.
Yeah.
A Quiet Place Part 3 is already in the work stand, and it is speculated to be directed sequel to the 2021 installment. Now, of course, details including the involvement of the franchise creator John Krasinski and stars Emily Blunt, Maleficent Simmons, and Noah Jupe have not yet been confirmed, but we shall see what happens, man. I mean, this franchise, I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon.
No, and that the latest one was awesome. It's interesting, though, that this next one will be the fourth, but it's A Quiet Place 3, because the third was Day 1, and it was a prequel. So that's kind of really weird how they're numbering them, right? The fourth is going to be Part 3, but okay, you just go with however you got to do it. This is also interesting. Richard Gere has apparently joined the upcoming espionage thriller series The Agency at Paramount Plus with Showtime. Gere is the latest big name to join the series after it was reported right here on this show also that Michael Fassbender would star in the show, and Jeffrey Wright was also confirmed as a cast member in June. Now, Gere will star as Bosco, said to be the London station chief with a storied past after serving as an 8-year undercover agent. This will mark one of the only regular television roles of Gere's career. He received an Emmy nomination for his work in a TV movie And the Band Played On back in 1993. So he doesn't do a lot of TV, so this is interesting that he's signing on. We'll see.
That's for sure. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Dog got out. Had to chase him in the rain, as we see, but he's fine. It's all good. We're back to our normal scheduled programming. Tyler Perry's Young Dylan has been renewed for season 5 at Nickelodeon. The kids' comedy series will enter production on July 8th in Atlanta, Georgia at Tyler Perry Studios. Season 5 will consist of 13 episodes that will kick off later in 2024 with a holiday episode premiere. Now, a multicam sitcom created by Perry, Young Dylan stars Glimmer as a rising hip hop star who moves in with his uncle and their affiliate family. Now, season 5 will follow Dylan and his cousin Rebecca, who's played by Selena Smith, as they try to expand their fledgling hip hop record label, while the whole Wilson family tries to deal with Dylan's mogul dreams. The show launched in February of 2020 and scored the highest ratings for a series premiere on Nickelodeon since 2017. Now, the fourth season kicked off in the fall of 2023. So all good things. I had no idea this show even existed, and it seems like a little more mature for Nickelodeon, but I guess they're trying to reach like a teenage audience.
I guess it sounds kind of like a little bit of a knockoff of Fresh Prince, but just saying,
little bit,
right?
yeah.
Like, a rising rapper moves in with his affluent rich uncle's family. Man, been there, done that, but I don't know. I mean, maybe the show's pretty good. I don't know.
Right.
All right, let's jump on over to NBC Universal. Despicable Me 4, that other animated film that we were telling you about. The latest entry, of course, in Universal and Illumination's wildly successful animated franchise, opened to $27 million on Wednesday. It added another $20.4 million on July 4th, which is a 28% increase over what Minions Rise of Gru did on its July 4th back in 2022, which was $16 million. It's also a 61% jump over Despicable Me 3's July 4th of $12.7 million, but DM4's July 4th is second behind DM2's $24.5 million holiday haul in 2013. Now, Friday's total, today as we're recording this, will indicate how much the sixth Minion/Despicable Me universe movie is going to do above or below $120 million, which is what it was projected to do. Now, based on current projections, Despicable Me 4 will easily tower over domestic charts, but likely won't overtake Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2 as the biggest opening of the year. It's definitely going to bump it off the top spot in the box, but it's not going to beat its opening, it doesn't look like. One thing it has going in its favor, though, and why I guess it's doing so well, is social media analytics corp Relish Mix reports that it has a very strong social media universe for the movie across TikTok, Facebook, X, YouTube, and Instagram. So apparently it's racking up on social media, so that always helps, obviously.
It really does, man. It really does. And I mean, yeah, it's been all over my feed. So
yeah.
We'll see how it does. I'm excited to see the little competition. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Well, Wicked, Universal's film adaptation of the hit Broadway show, is landing in theaters on November 22nd. Now, this is 5 days ahead of schedule if you are keeping count. It was originally supposed to open on November 27th, the same day as Disney's Moana 2. I bet some tracking switched some stuff up.
Oh, yeah.
Now, on its new release date, Wicked is smartly avoiding the box office battle royale against another movie musical similar to the same female demographic like we were just referring to. Now, Wicked will get a jump on the Thanksgiving Day holiday, though, but it won't be completely devoided of the competition. The film is set to debut the same day as Paramount and Ridley Scott's historical epic Gladiator 2, though there's presumably much less overlap in the audience and thus a threat of cannibalization. This is the second major date shift for Wicked Part 1, which was initially supposed to come out December 25th, Christmas Day. But Universal moved the film to Thanksgiving to dodge Christmas releases like Mufasa the Lion King and, of course, the third installment of Sonic the Hedgehog. So, I mean, they're just trying to find the right place, man. I honestly would not be surprised, depending on how early tracking numbers go for Gladiator 2, if that moves again. I mean, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully not, but I mean, we'll see.
I feel like it is two drastically different audiences for those movies, without doubt. But it just seems to me like Universal doesn't want to open this film against anything Disney. It's like, we don't want to do it against Moana 2, and we don't want to do it against Mufasa. Like, where can we put this motherfucker to, like, not go against Disney? Which It's sad because this looks like it's going to be amazing. It looks like it's going to be a really good film, right? So find a spot for it. And we should say that Paramount did release the first photo of Denzel Washington from Gladiator 2. There wasn't much more context to the story other than they released a picture of him. It looked pretty cool, but we didn't get anything else beyond that. So just to let you guys know, if you want to see a picture of Denzel in the movie, look for it. It was okay. Yeah, Denzel being Denzel, but, Chicago Med, this is good news if you're a Chicago Med fan. It's locked in its 3 remaining original cast members for the 2024-25 season. S. Empatha Murkison, Oliver Platt, and Marlene Barrett will, whose most recent contracts were up at the end of this past season, have apparently closed deals to extend their tenure on the NBC medical drama to a decade. Now, yes, it is headed into its 10th season. Chicago Med, from, of course, Wolf Entertainment and Universal Television, follows the emotional day-to-day chaos in the city's newest state-of-the-art trauma center and the lives of the doctors and nurses and staff who hold it all together. Now, Emmy winner Murkison plays Sharon Goodwin, the chief administrator of Gaffney's Chicago Medical Center. Platt plays Dr. Daniel Charles, chief of the psychiatry department. And Barrett plays Maggie Lockwood, in charge nurse of the emergency department. Now, the new deals with Murkison, Platt, and Barrett assure continuity on the One Chicago offshoot, which is undergoing major behind-the-scenes transitions ahead of Season 10, with co-showrunners Diane Frolov and Andy Schneider stepping down after their 9-year run. They are being succeeded at the helm by Alan McDonald. Now, on-screen, cast member Dominic Raines is departing after 5 seasons on the show, so they got some stuff going on, But, yeah, it's good that they re-signed them, because I can't imagine that show without those, especially Esapatha. She's long been under Dick Wolf. Started on Law and Order, for Christ's sake, way back in the day. She's a long-time Dick Wolfer, so can't imagine him not keeping her.
For sure, man. Right?
Yeah.
Well, heading over to Sony, AI turns deadly in the trailer for Sony's Afraid. A new Blumhouse horror star, John Cho and Catherine Waterston. Now, per the sci-fi horror movie logline, Curtis, who's played by Cho, and his family are selected to test a revolutionary new home device, a digital family assistant called AIA. Now, I don't know if that's AI or whatever.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
AIA. Taking smart home to the next level. Once the unit and all of its sensors and cameras are installed in their home, AIA seems to be able to do it all. She learns from the family's behaviors and begins to anticipate their needs. And she can make sure nothing and no one gets in her family's way. Now, the trailer sees Curtis and his family navigate their new AI assistant. At first, she seems to do everything and more, from ordering food to reading stories to the kids, helping out with chores, and taking care of the bills for the parents. Who doesn't love that?
No.
But then things start to go weary, and the AI assistant turns deadly. The film will be released in the United States by Columbia Pictures and distributed by Sony Pictures Entertainment. Man, oh man, AI is on the rise, that's for sure. So I'm betting we're going to see a lot of AI content within the next couple of years.
Without doubt. And I'm just a little jealous because, my smart home device, which I can't say the name because she'll start talking to me, doesn't protect me. Doesn't go out of her way to do anything to, says we'll protect the family at any cost. Well, mine doesn't. I'm just saying. Get on that, Amazon. Let's jump on over to Lionsgate. Lionsgate did announce this week that the 3rd installment, finally, in its Magic-themed franchise, Now You See Me, starring Jesse Eisenberg, will be released wide in theaters on November 14th of next year. Now, there are no other films set to debut on that date for now. While the plot for Now You See Me 3 is under wraps, the film reintroduces audience to the thieving illusionists known as the Four Horsemen while introducing a new generation of magicians. Now, The Pick is the latest installment in a franchise that has so far grossed $687 million worldwide. And if you have been living under a rock and you don't know, cast members include not only Jesse Eisenberg, but also Woody Harrelson, Isla Fisher, Dave Franco, and Morgan Freeman, who will all reprise their roles in the new film film with Justice Smith, Dominic Sessa, Ariana Greenblatt, and Rosamund Pike among those aboard for new roles in the film. I'm all in. I love the first two. I can't believe we've had to wait this long for the third one, but they were creative, they were original, they were well done. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the third one. I think it's going to be good.
I agree, man. I agree. Well, Lionsgate has set a new release date of Labor Day weekend, August 30th, for an action crime thriller, 1992. Now, which is one of Ray Liotta's final film roles. Now, the Emmy-winning actor co-starred in the movie opposite of Tyrese Gibson, in addition to Snoop Dogg, who boarded the movie as executive producer with his Death Row Pictures banner.
Nice.
Now, in 1992, Mercer, played by Gibson, is desperately trying to rebuild his life and relationship with his son, played by Christopher Emmanuel. Now, amidst the turbulent 1992 LA uprising following the Rodney King verdict, across the town, another father and son, Liotta and Scott Eastwood, put their own strained relationship to the test as they plot a dangerous heist to steal catalytic converters which contain valuable plutonium from the factory where Mercer works. See how the story intertwines there?
Yes.
We all see the tensions rise in Los Angeles and the chaos erupts. Both families reach their boiling points when they end up colliding. That sounds very interesting. I'm looking forward to see that one.
Dude, I remember that time, and it was tense. And people were jacking catalytic converters off cars left and right, bro. Everybody was getting so. I mean, and if you don't have a catalytic converter, your car doesn't work. And they were jacking them left and right, boy. Everybody. I mean, that was a tough time back then. What isn't a tough time, though, is Christmas. And Lionsgate also unveiled the first trailer for the best Christmas pageant ever. It's inspirational comedy starring Judy Greer and Pete Holmes, which hails from Kingdom Story Company and Dallas Jenkins, the filmmaker behind the popular faith-based series The Chosen. Now, an adaptation of the 1971 international bestseller by Barbara Robinson, the film will be released in theaters nationwide on November 8th. Now, the best I've got a little Biden going on, excuse me. The best Christmas pageant ever centers on the Hardman kids, who are the absolute worst. They lie, they steal, they bully, and apparently they've hijacked the town Christmas pageant. Now, as the rowdy and raucous siblings force themselves into all of the lead roles, they drive the pageant's director, Grace, played by Greer, and other members of her family, including her husband, Bob, up the wall. But through their mischief, these unlikely messengers might actually turn out to be the ones who deliver the town's sensational and moving portrayal of the true meaning of Christmas. Now, also starring in this bad boy is Elizabeth Tabish from The Chosen and Lauren Graham, Lorelai herself from Gilmore Girls. The film is scripted by Darren McDaniel and Platt Clark and Ryan Swanson and Jenkins. Lionsgate came to it after partnering with the production company Kingdom Story Company on titles like Jesus Revolution, Ordinary Angels, and the upcoming White Bird, which is coming out October 4th. These faith-based films, it's no joke, they are killing it at the box office. They are doing really well. They're kind of like horror in the sense that they're inexpensive to make, but they have a built-in audience where it gets your money. And so I think you're going to keep seeing them. I think you're going to keep getting bigger and bigger stars in them. And I don't think these are going away anytime soon.
That's for sure, man. That's for sure. Well, we're heading over to Amazon MGM, where they are hitting the jackpot, a.k.a. a new trailer dropped for their action comedy, Jackpot. Now, this one is starring Awkwafina, John Cena, and Simu Liu. Now, the film will premiere on Prime Video on August 15th, and the film is set in 2030, when a grand lottery competition has been established in California, Los Angeles. Now, transplant and aspiring actor Katie, who's played by Awkwafina, gets a winning ticket, but the lottery has a catch. Other people can kill her before she's shunned down to legally claim the multi-billion-dollar jackpot. After hordes of the people chase her throughout the city, she joins forces with amateur lottery protection agent Noel Cassidy, played by John Cena, who has to get her to the sundown in the exchange for the price of the prize. However, Noel must face off with rival protection agent Simu Liu, who owns the largest lottery protection agency in LA, and it also wants to collect Katie's compensation or commission, I should say. Now, the trailer sees Katie and Noelle escaping from those trying to hunt her down for her prize, set to the tune of their own drum of Bonnie Tyler's 1984 anthem, Holding Out for a Hero. Now, the pair fend off the masses, driving through the walls, avoiding meat cleavers, and fighting Lewis. So, all good things. That sounds freaking hilarious. And who doesn't want to be protected by John Cena?
Dude, the fucking trailer is hilarious. Cena and Awkwafina, bro. I mean, it's fucking hilarious. If you haven't checked out the trailer yet, you gotta watch it. I'm totally going to see it. It's gonna be good. This movie, we talked about this last week on the show. It's gonna be a great movie, and now it's adding to the cast. Molly Shannon has signed on to star alongside Mark Wahlberg and Paul Walter Hauser in Balls Up, the action comedy that Peter Farrelly is directing for Amazon MGM Studios and Skydance. And that's all we know. Details as to her role and what she's going to be doing and who she's going to be with, we don't know because it's all under wraps. But, I mean, it's going to be a fun movie, though. Like I said, that's an odd team up, and now you're throwing Molly Shannon in, so, okay, all right.
Right? It's interesting, that's for sure. Well, Zine Tzing is the latest addition to the cast of the Young Sherlock series at Amazon Prime Video. She will star alongside series leads heroes Phineas, Tiffin, as well as recently announced cast members Joseph Phineas and Natasha McClone.
Sure.
The show is inspired by Andy Lane's Young Sherlock Holmes novels. The official description for the series states the young age of 19, Sherlock Holmes is disgraced, raw, unfiltered, and unformed when he finds himself caught up in a murder mystery at Oxford University, which threatens his freedom. But I mean, which case doesn't? Diving into his first ever case with the wild and lack of discipline, Sherlock manages to unravel a globe-trotting conspiracy that will change his life forever. Sounds good, man. I mean, they definitely do love their historical novel based all the good stuff over there at Amazon MGM.
Yeah, no doubt. Now this next one I'm wondering, okay, based on the box office of Horizon and a couple of other things, are we seeing the end of the Western? Are people done wanting to watch Westerns lately? Well, I'm asking because Prime Video has closed the Abbott's void for good. Outer Range has officially been canceled. Yep, Outer Range followed, if you didn't know, Royal Abbott, played by Josh Brolin, a rancher fighting for his land and family when he discovers an unfathomable mystery at the edge of Wyoming's wilderness. Now, in Season 2, son Perry wound up in a completely different timeline, while Royal and his wife Celia searched high and low for their missing granddaughter Amy. Well, we won't ever know if they find her because it was canceled. So, sorry. If you guys want to know, we'll just, we'll try to reach out and find out what the writers were thinking. But, gone.
Yeah, you know. Oh, my goodness. Well, now we're heading over to Netflix, where Ben Affleck and Matt Damon have found their next collaboration. The duo will star in RIP, or R.I.P., the new Netflix thriller from writer and director Joe Carnahan. Plot details and release date remain under wraps, but the film is being produced by Artist Equity, the artist-led studio founded by Affleck and Damon in 2022. Now, Affleck and Damon have been lifelong collaborators, first teaming up, of course, in Good Will Hunting in '97, which earned them both Oscars for Best Original Screenplay. They starred together in Ridley Scott's 2021 historical drama, The Last Duel, alongside Jodie Comer and Adam Driver. Their latest project is the 2023 sports drama Air, which Affleck also directed that bad boy, which was phenomenal if no one has seen it yet.
Oh, yeah. And Artist Equity's got a lot of stuff coming up. Oddly enough, 2 Jennifer Lopez-led films, which that doesn't seem to be going well on the personal side, so that's going to be awkward as fuck later on. But hey, it's all good. Guess what also is all good? All 6 seasons of Lost, the cult classic supernatural show that ended its TV run 14 years ago, are once again streaming on Netflix in the U.S. as of July 1st. Now, the full run of Lost, created by J.J. Abrams, Damon Lindelof, and Jeffrey Lieber, remains available on Hulu also. Why? Because Lost was among the Disney-owned TV shows that Netflix and Disney agreed to share streaming rights to under a deal reached last year. Other shows on both Netflix and Hulu in the U.S. include Grey's Anatomy. Now, Netflix had originally inked the deal with Disney ABC for Lost back in 2009. Then Hulu had clawed back exclusive rights to it for the U.S. in 2018. So I'm thrilled it's back on there, but I'm hearing a lot, and I can kind of see this. A lot of people who watched it originally are just not catching on to it and wanting to watch it again because the whole mystery of it is, so it's not as entertaining because, back then the whole thing was, what the fuck? Every time you were like, what the fuck? You didn't know are they dead? Are they not dead? Is this purgatory? Is this hell? Is it all in their head? Are they making it up? Is it all you didn't know. So, but now you know, so it's kind of like, oh. It's not as entertaining. So, exactly. So I don't know. Man, there's going to be hardcore people that will watch it, but I think some people that loved it might not watch it again. So we'll see.
For sure, man. For sure. Well, Netflix has debuted the trailer for the first part of the final season of Cobra Kai, which is premiered July 18th on the streamer. The sixth and final season will be split into 3 parts, which each part containing 5 episodes the second batch will be released on November 28th and the third in 2025, which makes this the first ever 3-part series at Netflix. The season now sees the group of Cobra Kai eliminated from the valley, and the new challenge emerging in the Synesis, and students trained for the Saki Taiki with World Championships of Karate. The first part of Cobra Kai is set to hit on Netflix on July 18th.
Oh, shit. Yeah, right around the corner. That's going to be badass. Season 3 of Bridgerton has officially joined the list of Netflix's most popular titles of all time, with a cumulative 91.9 million views since May 16th's premiere. The season ranked at number 10 on the all-time English language TV chart, which Netflix measures based on views during each title's first 91 days of streaming. Now, this total was calculated on June 30th, only 45 days after May 16th, meaning the season can and will continue to grow even higher. Now, Bridgerton Season 2 ranks as the number 9 biggest English language series ever, with 93.8 million views in the first 91 days, and is closely clustered behind Stranger Things Season 3, limited series Fool Me Once, and The Night Agent Season 1. Now, Bridgerton Season 3 will likely overtake at least one of those titles by next week. Season 1 of Bridgerton ranks much higher at number 4 with 113.3 million views, but it's still plausible that Season 3 could beat it by the time its 91 days are up. What's up, stranger? Running? You running? You go out the door? Huh, buddy? Gramps? I know. Yeah. Look at that face.
Yeah.
Look at that face.
It's thundering outside, so we're getting a little scared. So we apologize to all the listeners with the barking in the background. But life happens.
It's okay.
Life happens. But in other Bridgerton news, this week's oddest and bit disturbing stories comes from Bridgerton casting director Kelly Valentine Hendry, who recently revealed that her inbox is getting flooded with tons of unsolicited fan auditions for season 4 of the Netflix romance series. Hendry said, and quote, "It's every day. I get the most unbelievable videos, unsolicited. It's basically sex. It's not actually sex, but it's pretty punchy." She says, "It's not nude pictures, but not far off." Now, given Bridgerton is known for its steaming erotic scenes, it's not too shocking to hear some fans think the X-rated audition tape would be their ticket to land a role on the show. Now, Hendry said that at the moment, many fans are gunning for the same role as Sophie Beckett, who is in Bridgerton novels and is the love interest of Benedict Bridgerton, of course, played by Luke Thompson on the Netflix series. The team behind the show has not confirmed yet whether or not the love story will be the central focus of season 2, but that is wild, that's for sure.
I mean, dude, like sending sex tapes to casting director to try to get what? Like, What? That's so crazy, bro. Like, I don't know, man. That's really odd. That is really odd. Julianne Moore, Millie Alcock, Megan Fahey, Kevin Bacon, and Glenn Howerton are all set for lead roles in the upcoming Netflix limited series Sirens. Now, this series is told over the course of a weekend at a lavish beach estate. Per the official logline, Devin, played by Fahey, thinks her sister, Simone, played by Alcock, has a really creepy relationship with her new boss, the enigmatic socialite Michaela Kelly, played by Moore. Now, Michaela's cultish life of luxury is like a drug to Simone, and Devin has decided it's time for an intervention. When Devin tracks her sister down to say, "What the fuck?" she has no idea what a formidable opponent Michaela will be. Now, Bacon is set to play Peter Kelly, who is said to come from old money family and is highest status person in every room he enters. He's an avid outdoorsman who enjoys the occasional joint. Howerton will appear as Ethan Corbin II, a dear friend of the Kells and lifelong bachelor who lives next door. He's a regular at the yacht club and he's rapidly burning through his trust fund. That one sounds entertaining, but you know.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Well, Apple's motor racing event movie starring the one and only Brad Pitt has officially been titled F1. Now, the streamer dropped the film's name at the first look and the first look posters on Friday. Now, Apple also announced that the teaser of the pick will drop this weekend at the British Grand Prix. The film is directed by Joseph Kosinski and will land in the global cinemas on July 25th of 2025. But as we told you on previous shows, the F1 package was snapped up for Apple for just a tiny little $130 million to $140 million. The movie was made in collaboration with Formula One. This film taking place at the races on real tracks throughout the F1 season.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, Pitt plays a former driver who returns to Formula One alongside Damon Idris as his teammate at the APXGP, a fictional team on the grid. Now, also starring the Academy Award nominee Carrie Condon, Academy Award winner Javier Bardem, Emmy Award winner and Golden Globe Award nominee Tobias Menzies, Sarah Niles, Kim Bodina, and Samson Kayo. So this thing is stacked, and I'm very curious to see what Brad Pitt does with this type of role. So we'll see.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. What else is awesome is Scar is coming to the morning show. Jeremy Irons has joined the cast of the morning show in the Apple TV Plus drama's upcoming 4th season. And guess what? He's playing Martin Levy, the father of Alex Levy. Yeah, Jennifer Aniston's dad. Okay. Irons is the most recent addition to the series, which also recently added Marion Cotillard to season 4. Along with Aniston and Cotillard, the cast also includes, Reese Witherspoon, Billy Crudup, Mark Duplass, Nestor Carbonell, Karen Pittman, Greta Lee, John Hamm, and Nicole Berry. Juliana Margulies, not returning for season 4. Not surprised by that. They kind of like, are you done with season 4 yet?
Yeah, or season 3. Yeah, we finished season 3.
I mean, season 3. Yeah, okay, because they kind of like wrote her off. I mean,
it's not anything important.
No,
that's for sure.
No.
But yeah, great season. If you guys haven't checked out the morning show season 3, so be sure to check
John
that
Hamm
out.
was so good.
I love that Hamm's coming back. So
yeah,
that's very
his dynamic, awesome. Him and Billy Crudup together were like fucking
so
awesome. Oh my god,
yeah,
that back and forth was who's the more masterful, who's gonna outwit who, kind of so fucking good, bro.
Agreed. Well, Brianna Middleton has been tapped as the co-lead opposite of Callum Turner and Normanster, an Apple TV Plus new sci-fi drama based on the award-winning novel by William Gibson. Created for television, the Graham Rowland and J.D. Dillard Neuromancer follows a damaged top-rung super hacker named Case, who's played by Turner, is thrust into a world of digital espionage and high-stakes crime with his partner Molly, who's played by Middleton, a Razor Girl assassin with mirrored eyes and aiming to pull a heist on a corporate dynasty with untold secrets. Now, Roland will serve as executive producer on Dillard is set to direct the pilot episode. Now, Neuromancer marks Middleton's latest collaboration with Apple TV Plus, following her starring role in Apple TV's original films Sharper and her casting as the lead in Sam Esmail's high-profile Metropolis series, which ultimately did not move forward, if y'all don't remember.
No.
Turner also has been an Apple TV Plus regular, coming off the streamer's World War II limited series, Master of the Air. So, seems to love the network, that's for sure.
No doubt, no doubt. Patrick Bramall is set to lead a series adaptation of the Ryan David Jan novel, The Dispatcher, at Apple TV Plus. Now, Apple has given the series a 6-episode order. It will be set in Australia. The official description for the series states police detective Ian Hunt's life fell apart 10 years ago when his young daughter Maggie disappeared without a trace. Now working as a police dispatcher, the only thing that has kept him going in his impalatable refusal to accept to accept that she might be gone forever. When he receives a distress call from a young girl, he is certain it's Maggie. He will stop at nothing to find her and reunite his broken family, whatever the cost. That sounds intense.
That really does, man. That really does. Well, since we don't have a guest this week, are there any new shows, anything else? Did you catch the latest episode of House of the Dragon? I mean, it was pretty
Yes.
crazy.
Yeah, that show's getting like just straight up crazy. I love it. I love I'm all in on that show. I think it's a brilliant show. And yeah, the fact that the fact that she was like, no, sorry, I appreciate that you came here and everything, but it's too late.
Right, that
War's
you
on,
snuck
bitch.
in and
That
everything. Yeah, it
Dragon's
was
going at it.
crazy.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but get the fuck out of here because it's not gonna. I was just shocked by that. I'm like, fuck. She said,
yeah,
appreciate you, love you, get out of here. We're still at war. I was like, what the
right.
fuck?
I know.
And
It's crazy.
I'm still all over presumed innocent. Fuck, man,
Nice.
Ruth Nega just killing it. I mean, yeah, dude. I don't know if you're watching the current season of Mayor of Kingstown, but that
Hmm.
shit's fucking getting insane. Yeah, I'm jumping all over, bro. But I'm loving all of it. I gotta watch Criminal Minds though. I haven't watched the latest episode of Criminal Minds, which is also getting fucking crazy good. Yeah, and the Acolyte. Fuck, man, the latest episode of the Acolyte too. Have you caught up on
Well, you
that
know
one
what's
yet?
sad? Star Wars. No, I haven't caught up on that one. I'm a few episodes behind. Star Wars fans may be worse than comic book fans
Oh, I know, I
because
know.
Acolyte is rated 3.5 out of 10 on IMDb, which
Yeah,
is super sad because
and
it's actually a good
it's a
show.
great show, and it's linking things together. I
Yeah,
just, yeah. I mean, and it's interesting because for anybody who's not watching it, apparently the bad one might end up being the good one, and the good one might becoming the bad one.
exactly.
What? It's so good, man. I don't understand why they just hate. It's not all about the Skywalkers, bitches. Sorry,
Exactly.
but there's other things within the realm of the universe. That's all I'm saying. How about you? What are
Literally.
you
I
watching?
mean, yeah, rocking and rolling with some of those. Been a little bad about television shows because I was trying to catch up on movies with
Yeah,
Bike Riders and Horizon.
yeah, yeah.
But honestly, like I was on a mission to find more video games to play with Emily. So her and I found we're playing Borderlands, which is funny because it's a shooter game
Okay.
that Emily is killing people. So that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then we found Crash, which is kind of like a very basic, simple, nothing crazy, kind of like Donkey Kong or Mario Brothers in a vein. So it's been just kind of fun to be able to unwind and do things that way. But yeah, just trying to relax and keep moving forward, man. I mean, I was into the clipped shows about the LA Clippers for a while, but I don't know. I just fell off of it because I think I told you and said it on the show that it was a little cheesy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think the cheese just caught up to me, and I was like, I'm lactose intolerant, so I
Yeah.
kind of dropped off.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, man. I mean, so far so good. A lot of good content out there, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. Cool. Cool.
Yeah, man. But now it is time for the top five segment, and before we get into that, I'll let the dog down because he has taken up my entire shot. I love being the center of attention, and this man completely took it. That's for sure. But this week's top five is top five perfect songs in our opinion. So, which has been very interesting because I wanted to do this top five because getting more or back into music again. So I've just, of course, some of the songs on, that you listen to and some of the most top rated songs are like they have their hiccups, they have the little things that you don't like. There's the aspect, but I think overall, musically, these top five songs like are perfect, and there's nothing lyrically, musically, instrumental, whatever have you, that you could fix because it's just executed so well. How did you approach your top five?
It was difficult. It was difficult.
Yeah,
I mean, picking them, I could literally list 100 of them. There's so many songs that I think are like so well done. And like, yeah. What I was shocked about is that neither one of us has perfect on our list of perfect songs. Like,
yeah,
what? That's a great song. Perfect is a
yeah.
great song. I don't know how we didn't put perfect on a list about perfect songs, but sorry, Ed. We'll get you next time, buddy.
There
Like,
it is.
but yeah,
There
I
it
mean,
is.
yeah, dude, it was tough. It was tough. I literally, like I said, I could just. There's so many people, Fleetwood Mac and Barry Manilow and the Bengals and just like ABBA and like I could span decades of people that I think had perfect songs. So I don't know.
Right.
I just went with it. I just tried to pick something that I like always gravitate to, or if I hear it, I'll listen to it and jam out to it. So
For sure, man, for sure. Number five for me goes to All of Me by John Legend. Not only was this Emily and I's first dance as a married couple, but I mean, this song, like, every time I hear it, even before Emily and I made it our song, it was like one of those that you just have to stop and listen to. And it's like one of the only things when I'm listening to it that is in my head when I'm listening to it. Like, I don't focus on anything
yeah,
else. It's one of those songs that it's just like, I feel like his voice mixed with like his piano accompaniment. I just thought it was perfect, and I don't see any part in the song that isn't perfect. So number five, "All of Me" by John Legend.
which is a really interesting choice because the whole song is talking about loving somebody for their imperfections and that you don't have to be
Imperfections, yeah,
perfect, right? And
and
that's
that's
why I
why it's
like the song.
perfect.
Yeah, that's why I
Yeah,
like the song so much. It's because you don't have to be perfect. You're perfect for me, and I
yeah.
love you every and just so it's such a great song. My number five, I pretty much could have picked any song by this band and it would have been on the list because they're like the probably, if not the greatest, two of the greatest songwriters in history. And I'm talking about, of course, McCartney and Lennon. My number five, Let It Be, the Beatles. It's just one of those songs that if it's on, I listen to it, I jam out to it. It's also on my list because you have to say it's a perfect song because it's the most covered song in history. It's the song that has been covered more than any other song in history. So people must like it and people must want to sing it. Therefore, it must be a perfect song because people don't want to cover your shit unless they like it. And the odd thing about it is that most people that do cover it don't change it. They don't put their own spin on it. They don't try to. They just sing it as is. And which is a very interesting. It says a lot about a song where you're like, no, I'm gonna have my voice to it, but I'm not gonna change how it sounds or what it is. And so that says a lot about like, no, Let It Be is Let It Be, and I'm just gonna sing it. And yeah, the Beatles, number five, Let It Be.
Oh, for sure, man. Great choice. Great choice. Number four for me goes to Michael Jackson's Beat It. I think it wasn't the first ever Michael Jackson song that I heard, but I mean, I think after he passed, it was probably the one I played the most. This one and Say, 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 which is funny enough with Paul McCartney from the Beatles. But I think Beat It is my favorite behind or in front of Billie Jean, just like by barely. But it's one of those that's like I don't know. The music video's great. Eddie Van Halen's great playing the guitar part, and like everything about it, I think just works so great. And I mean, it embodies what it means to be in the '80s and what it means to be like a big pop star. So yeah, I just that's one that anytime it's on, you have to play it. And I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
it's a great like motivational song. It's a great pump up song to get you in a better mood. So yeah, number four for me, "Beat It" by Michael Jackson.
My number four, it's another one of those where everybody sings it, everybody wants to sing it. And I think lyrically is what I'm attracted to it too, because the what the message is behind it, what it's trying to say. My number 4 is Hallelujah by Jeff Buckley, and it's another one of those it tells a story. I like songs that tell stories, right? Like whether they're upbeat, whether they're sad, whether it's a love song or an in-your-face club song or what. If it's telling a story, that's what makes me gravitate to a song. And Hallelujah definitely tells a story. And so, yeah. I mean, everybody's covered this shit. Like every type of genre artist has covered this song. So it's hard to say it's not a great song. Again, like and I'm sure I tell people to listen to it, but everybody's heard it. Everybody's heard Hallelujah. I mean, it's a song that everybody knows, so it's like it has to be on the list. Number 4, Hallelujah.
For sure, man. For sure. Number 3 for me goes to Lose Yourself by Eminem. Of course, the title track of 8 Mile, his loosely based film around his life. But I mean, this song, I think, especially in hip hop, it's almost a perfect song. Like, or it is a perfect song since I put it on my list. But if you go back and listen to the first rendition, it's so bad. It's not good at all.
Yeah.
But like when he finally found his flow with the beat and everything, it was really good, and it's obviously his best song of all time, most selling song of all time, which makes sense. But I mean, this is an anthem. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something going from rags to riches, and that's for everybody. And I mean, it's a great freaking song that I feel like maybe everyone who enjoys hip hop music knows the lyrics to. And I mean, you know, how many times have we rapped the words or made fun of or like said mom's spaghetti?
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
it's one of the most like iconic lines ever. But yeah, number 3 for me, Lose Yourself by Eminem.
It's funny because our number 3s kind of correlate with the same type thing. My number 3 is also an anthem, and it tells the story of his real life going from rags to riches. And it's also one hell of a fucking awesome film. But I'm talking about my number 3, Purple Rain by Prince. How perfect is this song? This fucking song brought the rain on cue at the fucking Super Bowl. That's how perfect this song is, right? I'm playing Purple Rain in the rain. Bam! Like it's the most epic Super Bowl performance ever. Nobody's ever gonna beat it. I'm sorry. Just keep bringing it. You keep trying every year. You are never going to be Prince playing Purple Rain while it's fucking raining. It's a huge rain song. You're never going to beat that. But this song, literally, though, it really is his anthem. It really is. And the movie was, too. It's a biopic. It's kind of like, this is his story. This is who he is. And he's an outsider. And he's not like because he's different. But he's got, you know, a story to tell, and he's gone through this kind of stuff. It's just an amazing, every time it's on, and I like the long version of it. There's a shorter version, but I like the long version of it. But it's just a beautiful song. He was a musical genius, and this song, you really see the genius in it, and it's hard. I rock out to this one constantly. I fucking love Purple Rain. Purple Rain, Prince, and I highly recommend, if you haven't watched the movie, watch the movie, because it's a really fucking great movie too, and Prince is a really good actor. It's a fucking great actor in it. Like it's really so funny because Lose Yourself, Eminem acted in that film, and it's like they're telling their stories, they're acting in their real life stories. It's kind of like, it's interesting that we chose those two as our 3s because they're very similar in nature. God damn, a collaboration between Prince and Eminem would have been badass, bro.
Right.
That would have been fucking badass because they're total respect for each other, you know. And holy fuck, man, shit, I wish that would have happened.
The what ifs of the world, man.
Yeah,
the what ifs of the world. My number 2 was actually the reason that I threw out this idea for this top 5, because I've been obsessed with this song recently, and I've actually been obsessed with the band a little bit, getting more into them.
Interesting.
Obviously, because of my wife. But I'm going with My Immortal by Evanescence. Oh my gosh, it's such a good song. I could play this song on repeat.
The best thing about Ben Affleck's Daredevil film.
For real. Like, I'm just saying. But I also have a tiny little bit of crush on Amy Lee right now. Emily knows it's fine, but it's like, especially the band version where it's like it's the slow the whole entire time, the piano very instrumental, but then you're like, oh yeah, this is Evanescence, and boom, like it just gets super hardcore rock for that last chorus line. Oh my gosh, it's so perfect, and like her voice is just amazing.
Yeah,
Let's be
yeah.
honest about it. She's one of the best singers of all time, in my opinion. It was crazy because we looked up how they started their band. Amy Lee and I think it was one of the guitarists. They actually met when they were like barely teenagers at a Christian sleepaway camp, and they would play music together, and that's how they met. And they were like, we could really do something with this. And then boom, Evanescence was formed at a Christian sleepaway camp,
Yeah.
which
You
is
never
so
know.
funny. You never know, you never know. But if y'all have not listened to My Immortal band version, oh my gosh, please be sure to do yourself a favor and do so. It's
Yes.
so freaking great. Number two for me, My Immortal by Evanescence.
My number two is another great film by an extremely talented individual, and I put this one on the list. And I'm talking about the 10-minute version because it's the best version. But before the 10-minute version even existed, this was my favorite Taylor Swift song of all time, and she's got a ton of good ones. But All Too Well, and it has to have probably the single greatest line ever written in a song, in my opinion. When the line about I call you up again just to break you like a promise, casually cruel in the name of being honest. That is a fucking brilliant line. Because we've all been there. Whether we're the ones who did it or we were the victim of getting it, we've all, I'm just being honest because I feel it's the right thing to do. No, motherfucker, it's evil. You're hurting me. You're crushing me. Don't be honest. Give me a lie. Give me anything. So that line is just like, there's not a single person who's ever been in love who has not felt that line. Like, okay. And so, yeah, dude. And I just, again, it's a story. She's telling the story of how she was wronged and how she, like, still feels that shit. Even though she's well moved on, she still feels that shit. And so, but yeah, that song, every time I hear that song and that line, I just get fired up. Now there's a club version out of it. And, like, the
Yeah.
club version's even more powerful. It's like, call me up. I was just like, fuck, man. But yeah, my number two, All Too Well by Taylor Swift. What a great fucking song, man. It's so good.
Right. Agreed. Agreed. My number one is probably my favorite song of all time. I love it. I wanted it to be the dance at the wedding, the first dance at the wedding, but it's kind of, that would be a weird first dance. But it's one of my all-time favorites. It's such a perfect song that the chorus doesn't start until exactly 2 minutes and 34 seconds into the song. I've known this for years. Such a weird fact, but I'm talking about Tiny Dancer by Elton John.
Yes.
I love this song. The slow build up to the amazing crescendo that is his voice. I mean, of course, his voice has changed, but it's still an amazing song. It's still really cool to see him perform it. I love this song way before Almost Famous, because I know that exposed the song to a lot of younger audiences. It's one of those that it tells such a beautiful story, and you can see it in your head when you're listening to it. And that's really what I'm looking for with music and like video games and obviously movies and television. The interpretation of different things to where you can imagine it in your head and start conversations.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. I love this song so much. Number one for me, Tiny Dancer by Elton John.
There you go. My number one had to be on the list. No way it wasn't on the list. Written by the extraordinarily talented Dolly Parton, but my version is Whitney Houston. I Will Always Love You. I don't even have to say anything about this song, honestly. It's the love anthem of all time. If you have ever been in love with anybody, this song hits you. And it hits you hard. And it's like you will do anything for the person you're in love with, even walking away from them, if that's what makes them happy, if that's what's best. This song, it's just the Kevin Costner fucking suggestion to go a cappella at the beginning of it before the music hits, fucking brilliant. It's like, and when she hits it, dude, Nobody matches her. You just think of the national anthem when she fucking belted it out. This song, when she hits that note and just boom, man, just nobody's ever gonna fucking match that in my book. It's her vocals at that are like literally perfect. They're literally perfect vocals when she hits that, and it's just like, yeah. Yeah, and that, I mean, Dolly Parton will tell you how perfect that song is because she's made millions off of it from Whitney's version of it. So, yeah, man, just my number one, I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. What a tragic loss that was, man.
For sure, man, for sure. What if she just... it would have been funny if that song popped up in Horizon, American Saga. Maybe it would have sold more money.
Yeah.
It's so funny. But anyway, guys, we want to know what's your definition of a perfect song. Be sure to comment below your perfect song on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all the good places. We want to know. We love the fan interaction. TikTok, TokTik. Please be sure to comment below.
Yes.
But now we're heading over to the box office recap. Like we told you before in the industry news, Inside Out 2 hauled in $57.5 million, breaking more records at the lackluster summer box office that is 2024. That's for sure. Number 2 was A Quiet Place Day 1 with $52.2 million. Horizon American Saga came in at number 3 with $11 million. Bad Boys Ride or Die came in at number 4 with $10.3 million, and Kaiki 2898 AD came in at number 5 with $5.4 million. I have no idea what that is, but kudos to them.
Yeah, it's an Indian film, which apparently are making big moves at American box offices lately. But yeah, there you go.
There we go. Good for them, man. Good for them. Well, new movies coming out. We mentioned a little bit earlier this week, or a little bit earlier in the show. But this week, it is Despicable Me 4, Maxine, Kind of Kindness, Kill, Sound of Hope, the story of Possum Trot. So be sure to head over to your local cinemas and check those new ones out. And there's still movies that you still can go see from previous weeks if you haven't checked them out yet. The Bike Riders, If, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, The Exorcism, and Ferocia, a Mad Max saga. So be sure to check that out. And then, of course, the IMDbPro's top trending segment. The top trending movie is Inside Out 2. Duh. The top trending TV show is The Boys. Duh. And the top trending star is Emma D'Arcy, who is from House of the Dragon.
Yes.
Duh. So it all makes sense, man. It all makes sense. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for getting crazy with us on episode 264 of ITCAF Podcast. We got to thank you, our listeners, one more time for getting crazy with us. And be sure to follow the company and podcast on all social media platforms. We're at ITCAF Podcast on all social media, Crazy Ant Media at all social media. Our film, The LP Film, on Instagram and Threads. Our mental health podcast at Everything's OKP. We got a new episode coming out next week about happy places and where to find them and what ours are. So we're very excited about that.
Yes.
And of course, be sure to follow us both personally on social media. Myself at J Logan Austin and
at Crazy Ant CEO.
That's right, man. That's right. And be sure to subscribe to your podcast anywhere you listen to your podcast. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Stitcher, and so much more. And you're watching this video on YouTube, we appreciate you. Be sure to hit that like button below. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell for all the latest and greatest notifications coming out of Crazy Ant Media. And then, of course, be sure to head over to our website, www.crazyantmedia.com, where you can start rocking the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear. 20% off right now, so be sure to check it out.
Yes.
But man, oh man, what a great show. I mean, there's so much good stuff happening in Hollywood, that's for sure. But, I mean, I'm just most interested in what's actually going to happen with Paramount, because there's so many different possibilities.
Yeah.
So, most interested in that, and I'm very curious to see what the 4th installment of Despicable Me 4 brings to the table. So we'll see, man.
Yeah, I just, the thing that makes me happy is talking about the business side of stuff is that, you know, as usual, we're like spot on about what we think is going to happen. We've seen this coming for a long time. It's just going to be who ends up with it. But what makes me happy is that it certainly seems like all of the people who are even interested in making bids only want Paramount. They don't want all the rest of the shit. They just want Paramount, which is a good sign because they want to keep Paramount. And so that at least makes me pretty happy. And I'm, of course, pumped. I'm really jazzed about all of the Marvel stuff. I think they're going to make a strong resurgence. They're going to reclaim the crown of, box office dominance and television dominance like they used to have. I just really see that coming. Iger fixed that. He went to Feige and said, let's correct this shit and get it back on track. And I think that's really going to happen. Yeah, man, I just, it's a really, I love when we talk about all kinds of, there was a few original ideas in there, and then, some freaky shit about sending sex tapes to a casting director. I mean,
Literally.
It is our industry. It is what it is, man. You can't find it anywhere else. It's just how it goes, man.
That's for sure. And I think M. Night Shyamalan might have actually lured me in with that.
Dude, I told you.
I watched the trailer. I still wasn't convinced before, but I saw the trailer and I was like, oh,
the first time I saw that trailer was
Yeah.
in the theater, big screen, and I'm like, fuck, that looks fucking insane. When he goes stone and you realize he's the fucking serial killer, you're like, oh fuck, like,
yeah, it's really different.
And see, and
we'll be keeping
that's
on
the
track
one
of that
thing about M. Night, though. Like, he can show you in the trailer the plot. Like, that's something that you would think you would hide throughout the whole movie. You don't want to blow it in the very first trailer that he's the serial killer.
No,
but he does, because there's probably so much other twisted shit going on in that movie that he can just put that out there. Like, no, I'm going to give you the whole plot of the movie right in the first trailer. So we'll see. But it does look good. And I'm glad to see Josh Hartnett back. He took that long gap, like forever in Hollywood. He kind of disappeared. Now it's good to see him back and making a resurgence because he's a really talented guy.
For sure. And that's funny that you say him, because the connection between Horizon American Saga, that little boy that his parents got killed and went with the Western, I think he looked like Josh Hartnett. He looked like a younger one.
He did. I would agree with that.
Was like his son or something. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, go see Horizon American Saga. We're trying to help out Kevin Costner.
That's
Maybe
right.
he'll help us fund our film. Who knows? But, oh, my goodness. It wouldn't be ITCAF Podcast without honoring the one, the only at the end of the show. The one, the only, Oprah!